Have you ever noticed how the more you talk about certain things as you get older, the more people start looking at you differently? Not with respect, not even with curiosity, but with something else. Pity, calculation, sometimes even quiet judgment. And here's the uncomfortable question no one asks out loud. What if oversharing in your later years is slowly costing you power without you even realizing it? Because aging isn't just about wrinkles or slower mornings. It's about perception. And perception shapes how the world treats you. Let me tell you something most people won't say on YouTube. Silence becomes a form of wealth as you age. Real wealth. Invisible power. And there are 5 specific things that, if you keep them to yourself, can completely change how people respond to you after 60. The first one is your financial situation, whether you have a lot or very little. I once knew a retired gentleman who constantly mentioned how comfortable he was after selling his business. He didn't brag exactly, but he hinted, repeatedly. Suddenly, distant relatives became warm. Neighbors started dropping by. Even his own children began discussing future plans that suspiciously included his money. On the other side, I've also seen seniors openly complain about being broke, and slowly people stopped inviting them places. Why? Because money talk shifts dynamics. Either people see opportunity, or they see burden. Neither earns you respect. Quiet confidence does. Let them wonder. The second thing to stay silent about is your health details. Now listen carefully. This doesn't mean ignore medical advice or avoid doctors. Of course not. But constantly updating everyone about every ache, every test, every fear, that slowly reshapes how people see you. You become fragile in their minds, even if you're not. I met a woman in her late 60s who had minor blood pressure issues, totally manageable, but she talked about it daily. Soon, her own family stopped asking her to travel with them because we don't want you to get tired. See how that works? The body may age, yes, but broadcasting every symptom gives the world permission to sideline you. And sometimes we don't even notice it happening. Third, your regrets. This one is heavy. As people age, there's this emotional need to confess missed chances, lost loves, business failures. And while reflection is healthy, constantly speaking regret aloud keeps you psychologically stuck in the past. People start associating you with what didn't happen instead of who you are now. I once spoke to a retired professor who always said, "I should have moved to New York when I had the chance." He said it for 20 years. That sentence became his identity, not his achievements, not his wisdom, just that one missed train. Silence, in this case, is healing. Some thoughts are meant to be processed quietly. Fourth, family conflicts. This is sensitive, but very real. Sharing internal family problems with outsiders can slowly weaken your authority. If you constantly tell friends how your son doesn't listen or your daughter argues, it creates subtle disrespect. Not toward them. Toward you, people unconsciously think they've lost control, even when you haven't. Protect your household narrative. Every family has friction. That's normal. But publicizing it reduces dignity. And finally, the fifth thing, your plans. Especially new ambitions. Starting a small business at 65? Learning a language at 70? Traveling solo at 68? Keep it quiet until it's done. Because here's something interesting about human nature. People discourage what they can't imagine for themselves. And older adults often face subtle doubt masked as concern. Are you sure that's wise? Isn't that too much? Those little phrases slowly chip away at excitement. Protect your momentum. Build in silence. Reveal in confidence. And here's the deeper layer nobody talks about. As you age, the world unconsciously tests your relevance. It watches how you carry yourself, how much you speak, what you reveal. Oversharing can unintentionally lower perceived strength. Silence, when intentional, creates mystery. And mystery commands respect. Now don't misunderstand me. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about strategic quietness. There's a difference. Speak with purpose, not impulse. Aging is not decline. It's refinement. It's editing. You've lived enough years to know not every thought deserves a microphone. And honestly, when you start practicing this, something interesting happens. Conversations shift. People listen more closely when you do speak. Your words carry weight because they aren't constant. You become composed, observant, calm. That calmness, it's magnetic. And let me share something personal. I once asked a 72-year-old man what his biggest lesson in life was. He smiled and said, "I stopped explaining myself." That was it. No dramatic speech. No lecture. Just that. He realized that explaining every decision, defending every choice, updating everyone about everything, was exhausting and unnecessary. When he became selective with information, his stress dropped. His relationships improved. Even arguments reduced. Because silence removed fuel. There's power in not reacting, in not narrating, in not proving, especially after 60. At this stage, your presence should speak louder than your details. Let people experience you instead of analyze you. Let them see your actions instead of hearing constant commentary. And yes, I know this can feel unnatural at first. We are social beings. We like to share. But wisdom isn't about saying more. It's about knowing what to withhold. Think of it like this. When you were younger, you built identity through expression. Now, you build legacy through restraint. That shift changes everything. You don't owe the world a report on your bank account. You don't owe anyone a breakdown of your medical file. You don't owe friends a replay of past mistakes. And you definitely don't owe critics early access to your future plans. Keep some cards close, not out of fear, but out of strength. Because here's the truth. People respect what they can't fully access. And the older you get, the more valuable your inner world becomes. Protect it, guard it, not with anger, with quiet dignity. And before I close, let me leave you with this thought. Aging isn't about shrinking your voice. It's about sharpening it. Speak less, mean more. Choose carefully. Move intentionally. And if you start today, even in small ways, maybe not mentioning that investment, maybe not sharing that minor health scare, maybe not announcing that new idea, you'll notice a shift. Subtle, but powerful. So here's my suggestion for you. For the next 30 days, practice selective silence. Observe how people respond. Watch how your confidence grows. And ask yourself, what truly deserves to be spoken? And what becomes stronger when protected? Sometimes the loudest wisdom is the one that stays unspoken. And that might just be the secret advantage of growing older.